Hello everybody, Floppy Hat Photos back here again for part 2 of my roof vent install of my 1-ton Ford van here. And I've already got the hole drilled. This is me starting to cut the hole out with my jigsaw. It's just a bimetal blade, nothing super fancy and old. I think it's a Black & Decker jigsaw I've had forever, and the actual hold down broke too. So you can do this about any tool you want or have laying around. That's where my little suction cup mount was not set tight enough, and I had to reposition it and retighten it all back down. So I was going to edit it out, but I thought, hey, what the hell? You won't see that first cut if I edit it out. So went ahead and left that in there. Also on this van, if you're doing this to your van and you're you like the look of it, you like the paint job, if it's in good shape, I highly recommend coating the whole thing down with some good masking tape, some duct tape, even packing tape. Tape would work really well. The packing tape is good because it helps lubricate the blade. A lot of people do that when they're scroll sawing on small wood projects to kind of keep things moving a little more freely. But this thing's hauled dog kennels, it's hauled canoes, kayaks, lumber, all kinds of stuff up top here. It's all scratched up anyway, so I didn't really care about the scuffs it's going to make. The other option is you could at least go ahead and coat the bottom of the jigsaw itself with some tape or some felt or something to keep from scratching up your paint if you're really concerned about it. So right here I'm just cutting towards the camera. I already had the big scary part of drilling the hole, so this part's not that bad. I'm cutting outside the line a little bit, as you can see, because I don't have a proper template. I'm just kind of guesstimating where it needs to be with that trim panel. So I went ahead, put it back in the hole, start over again. You can see that real wavy as the camera is shaking. It's just from the whole top of the van being shook from the jigsaw itself. And one of the fun parts about this is as you keep cutting, you'll see it gets a little worse and it gets a little better. If you look at that little flap that I'm cutting out, see how much it's moving up and down. The farther I get away from cutting that out, the more it's going to start flapping. So the looser it is, the less metal holding it, the more it's going to flap around like crazy. So I end up, just having to deal with it. You see the camera shaking like crazy right here again too. So not much I can do about that unless I would want to get like an actual giant I guess tripod or something out there to try and hold the camera separate of the van. Turned over here so you can see and make the corner. And when it comes to making corners in metal or wood or whatever it is with the jigsaw, the biggest thing is just keep it going but go slow. Not be afraid to back up a little bit, take a notch out it, kind of try and turn it, back it a bit, turn it, back a little bit, turn it. And you'll work your way around the corner here fairly easily. I'm switching hands and stuff so I'm at a weird angle. I'm standing up on top of a step ladder that's really not the most secure feeling at all, so I'm trying to hold my left hand, also trying to hold that panel down that's being taken out. You can see it's flopping around like crazy. It's super annoying, super loud. It's hard to kind of keep it going straight because the blade wants to hook on it and then it wants to start moving the panel instead of cutting the metal out of there. So right here I decided I'm going to try and pry it open to maybe hold that panel I'm cutting out a little bit better. Tried with my finger, didn't work, so I reached in here and grabbed my pocket knife. Start prying it out, which you can't see on the camera, but it's just a razor blade knife that I have. I pry it up here far enough so I can get my other hand underneath, and what I'm doing is just going to hold the panel up above, so I'm pressing down on the top of the van, holding that panel steady, trying to keep it from flapping around so much, and that seems to really help quite a bit to keep it in position, not getting it out of hand, not getting it carried away, and all that good stuff. So also this would have been a lot easier if I would have had scaffolding or actually been able to be up on it flat where I could have aimed better. So I'm trying to pull back towards myself with my right hand here. It's just kind of an awkward position to try and follow a line straight, but it doesn't matter. I know how to go back in and trim this hole out bigger because I made the hole too small to begin with, which is much better than having it too big and trying to put stuff back in. So I started off small, trimmed out of another, I'd say maybe 3/8 of an inch is what it took me on two sides to get there. Right here I'm moving the camera to a different angle, hoping maybe you guys will see a little bit better. Not really sure if that worked the best or not, but you're going to see what happens here. The camera's still shaking quite a bit from just the vibration of this piece. I've got my hand on there as best I can, and you notice the jigsaw starts to jump around on me pretty good. And what's happening there is the fact that I'm trying to push the jigsaw in too fast and not let the blade do its work. So when I get carried away and I get pushing too fast, and then it hooks up and it starts bouncing the jigsaw itself around, there, just had to move the cord out of the way. Not a big deal. Common sense stuff there. You don't want to cut through your cord. Plus, you can see better. So, again, you can see how easy you make the corner if you just go at it real nice and slow and just take your time. This will not be a race. You got all the time in the world to do this, assuming, I mean, don't take like 3 hours to cut out one hole. But this is life speed, not sped up, not slowed down, anything else. This is exactly how fast it took me, how long it took me to get through here, including the part where I had to remount the camera, all that. So it could be done quicker if it wasn't for the camera there. And as you can see on the right hand side, you can see some of the scuffs and scratches that are on the paint. Again, I didn't care about this paint, so I didn't bother it a bit. And right here I'm switching hands just so I can hold on to the farther edge of that panel piece that was removed, just so I can try and keep it from flapping around so much. If you have the ability to put magnets on, like I said before, that would also work really well to magnetize the two pieces together and whatnot. You could even clamp it together if you had a piece of wood or something you could clamp to. So other than that, getting ready to cut off the piece here. I got my right hand holding the piece up so it doesn't fall through and to keep it flying around, but also gives me the ability just to have it not get stuck inside the hole. So super happy of how good this done. When this piece comes out, you'll see there's a little line there in the headliner that actually is a perfect little line, the exact same size as the hole that I used my razor blade knife to cut around and wrap up. So thanks for watching. Have yourself a safe and wonderful day. I'll be back for the next part shortly.